It should be a saying, bad science makes for bad policy. I mean, lots of things make for bad policy, so it's hardly alone. But now, a wave of bad science is causing numerous U.S. states to take action against the public health epidemic of a mental health crisis, even though there's no coherent science that says it actually exists. This podcast has been a vocal supporter of the Electronic Frontier Foundation since we began. Although in recent years they've done several things that we've had cause to complain about, in so many ways they're keeping up their steadfast adherence to freedom of speech. And that includes young people who have the same First Amendment rights as the rest of us. And yet, there's a movement in states, led by both Democrats and Republicans, to ban minors from social media. Of course, it's fueled by the pop psychology narrative of how social media affects mental health and socially isolates blah blah blah, backed up by very shaky studies that fail at basic methodology. The pseudoscience is known as the Great Rewiring. The EFF links to an article in Nature, which, it should be pointed out, is a book review and not a peer-reviewed article, that nonetheless does a good job of pointing out the issue. The author, Candace L. Odgers, wrote about Jonathan Haidt's book, The Anxious Generation. Hundreds of researchers, myself included, have searched for the kind of large effects suggested by Haidt. Our efforts have produced a mix of no, small, and mixed associations. Most data are correlative. When associations over time are found, they suggest not that social media use predicts or causes depression, but that young people who already have mental health problems use such platforms more often or in different ways from their healthy peers. These are not just our data or my opinion. Several meta-analyses and systematic reviews converge on the same message. Haidt, a social psychologist at New York University, is a gifted storyteller, but his tale is currently one searching for evidence. But Haidt's book is almost exclusively the work cited to support these blanket social media bans. In fact, large-scale meta-analyses fail to show any sort of consistent, measurable association between social media and a decline in global well-being. Correlation may not be causation, but they don't even have a correlation. Certainly not a big enough one to justify large-scale government bans. The studies that appear to support the hypothesis fail to take significant alternatives into consideration, such as the effects of the COVID-era isolation, perceptions of school gun violence, economic instability, and stress brought upon by doomsday narratives of climate or AI. More often than not, research has consistently disproven the asserted link between social media use and poor mental health. Internet use is quite often a net positive for teenage brain development, and the negative outcomes are just as likely to result from a lack of access as they are from excessive use, which is why legislators always choose the language of emotion over rationality. They're trying to bypass their responsibility to do the research before legislating. If they really cared about the kids, they'd put in the work to find the real reasons. But again, politicians don't care about you or your kids. They only care about their power over you. I don't think any social media could ever poison the minds of people as much as the belief in the authority of government has throughout history.